But I
Yeah.
also wanted to ask you about intentional communities real quick, what you think
Okay.
about them and all that.
Yeah. I think absolutely, whether you're in an apartment block or whether you're in the city or the country or somewhere in between, you can have intentional community. It all starts from your choice of how you express yourself in the world, from borrowing a cup of sugar to community currency within your street or your small town or wherever you live. There are ways that you can work together with your community, and it really is grassroots. That's the point of Free World Family, is that it comes from what the people want. It's people driven. So yeah, I think everybody's felt this feeling of wanting to be in a safe place. And we've been through this, do we move? Do we run away? But it always comes back for me to creating a safe space inside. And that I'm not wanting the outside world. I want the outside world to reflect what's coming from within. And so then, of course, you have to start within, which is like the hardest place to start.
Okay.
And there are some amazing intentional communities. I know Coho US, Cohousing America does amazingly well all over the country. IC.org, intentionalcommunities.org, has a website, and there's, I think, a map of where to find intentional communities. There's an amazing one in Southwest Colorado called Heartwood. We visited them. They have 24, I think, homes on many acres and all the things that you would want to create. But really, it's also that it mirrors that polarity, that duality, that we either have what we have now or we jump to something else. And where's the bridge? We have to create that bridge to get to where we want to go. I have an incredible friend who's working with some people in Canada. There's an organization called activateus.org, so activateus.org. And they're looking at Aikido economics and ways to get us to that place, to where we want to go. I thoroughly encourage people to check out that resource. And I think just building the community that you want to see where you are, if you don't have the means to pick up and move, because I'm not moving without community, and community takes time to grow. So get started today. Know your neighbors, reach out, find out those who have needs and share yours, and then find out where they intersect. Find out who has specific skills. I have a friend whose father sadly is in hospital, and she said that's the last place to go right now. So build your vital supply networks in community. Make a list of all those that you rely on. If you have teenagers that skateboard, find yourself a paramedic. Find it has some humor to it, but honestly,
I love it.
Find your midwives, your ranchers, your
So
farmers,
true.
everyone has a skill to offer. And we don't all have to own everything. We can borrow and trade and barter and all that.
There are those lawnmowers and
the juicy, fun to be had in the prepreration going into winter. If you're into
canning vegetables,
or drying herbs, or teaching the kids about their immune systems and how powerful they are, and the remedies that we can make and share with them. And it's all in our it's all there. Nature provides to us for free.
Exactly. I mean, didn't Aristotle, no, is that right? No.
Is it? We'll have to look at
Hippocrates?
one.
No.
Let food be thy medicine.
Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Wow, I had a
Yes.
little bit of a brain fade there.
Me too.
But you know what? I mean, our medicinal herbs, and like I was speaking with Daniel Johns on another recording that will be part of this series, but just talking about the beauty and wonder of dandelions, as long as they haven't been doused in Roundup, you know, there's so much you can do for healing and for making teas. And I just read today, I get a lot of information in that I think comfrey is a pain reliever, something like that. But I've been collecting all these tidbits, but
yeah. Start a neighborhood apothecary, you know, find your wise men, your wise women,
yes,
invite them to share their skills and knowledge with the community.
Right. Every village needs a shaman, you know?
And we can be our own too, you know.
Yes.
It's tuning into what we can sense that our bodies need. Although I was the source point for the Free World Family Telegram group, it's not my group. It's everybody's, and it's what everybody wants is what life wants to come through. So you can find us on Telegram. Would be lovely to have a website. I mean, I truly think that the magic happens in person, but if there's anyone out there that's so inspired to reach out and offer that service, we'd, you know, love to talk about that and to get curious about what we can create together. I'm also looking at private membership association. Heard a lot about that. You know, this has existed for centuries with you know, the fraternal organization. So why shouldn't it work for everyone?
Absolutely. And I don't mean to interrupt, but as you know, I'm really new to this topic, but very interested in learning more. And for those others who are tuning in, who are wondering, what is that? And in a nutshell, can you explain what that is and why it's an important tool for us to consider if we're wanting to go that direction?
Yes. I mean, I too, I'm also on the steep learning curve about private membership associations, but in essence, it's taking your activities out of the public domain and putting them into the private domain, so that certain rules that are outside of that association don't apply. So you have some lawful protections there. David Edwards is the kind gentleman who drew up our paperwork. I think his website is PMA Power
.org.
And getyourpma.com, I think.
We'll post that below as well.
Yes. And so the next stage is for us as a band of brothers and sisters, is to figure out what that looks like in real life, not just on paper.
Right. And I think it's kind of interesting and telling, wouldn't you say, that if you describe the difference between the definition of legal with the definition of lawful, and it's so important, the difference these words can make between posting filing a claim where you represent yourself in a court rather than filing a complaint. There's a difference between a complaint and a claim. I understand. I'm new to this too.
So much to learn. And
right.
I think if we can just drop into our heart space and have an internal knowing, so much of our lives has been brought up thinking that the outside world has the authority, and of course we're all divine beings, and so to kind of reclaim that part of ourselves that truly knows the next right thing to do.
Yes, there's a lot to be said about follow your gut, follow your heart. And, that really, it never misleads us if we really know how to really listen and tune in and get quiet to hear that. But, well, Nicola, I think we've really touched upon some really important ideas and concepts. And do you have anything more you'd like to toss out there?
Just love to everyone, to be listening and listening for an uplifting message, to let people know that they're not alone, and for them to reach out to like minds in their community and build that safe sanctuary for themselves as we move into these times this winter. I just want to let people know that we can create the reality that we choose.
Beautifully said. And again, with these times, we all need we need to come together and to love one another, meet them where they are, and just discover the beauty we all have naturally within us. And I too am drawn into the international community sort of way. Been so divided. I'm going to post a TED talk I listened to just this morning from a woman from Denver, Cherry Creek Women. She's in the process of setting up a micro village in Wheat Ridge, I believe it is. And right now she's involved in a village in the heart of Denver, I think Aria community, something like that. But a fascinating young woman, young mother. And I'll post a link to that because I was so impressed with that. She goes into a lot more of what we talk about. So, thank you so much. And this is part of a small series we're working on that's covering international communities, homesteading. Even with we're helping to homeschool a young girl, and that's our unit study right now, is homesteading and prepping, and the private membership association. We're exploring all of these things. So if you're interested in these, please don't forget to just click on subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when we post some more in this series. We really appreciate that to help expand the message. So thank you so much for everyone tuning in, and Nicola, for joining us and sharing your time and energy and your inspiration. Thank you so much.